Hey, yo, I had to finally get this fucking phone figured out on how I could live stream with this. And this is my first time doing this from the phone. I tried to go live earlier, but I couldn't figure out the thing with the fucking uh live chats so I can see y'all chats and stuff. I want to make this visible. Okay, so now I can see people's chats coming in and stuff. Yep. All right, I got my parents downstairs below me, so I got to be kind of quiet. Um, I rent the upstairs apartment, so um, they they stay downstairs. So I got Hoda over here. Let me bring her in camera real quick. Let me bring her in frame real quick. Come on, Hoda, do that. Yeah, yeah, bro. This is a little chop up session right here. We just talking about what I got coming up. I got a uh I got a fight coming up on November 13th. So it's gonna be over there in Virginia. So and after that I got some things I'm doing with the channel. I'm gonna be going hiking a few places. One of my friends from down Florida, they gonna come out, you figured it out. Turkey brain wow. Yeah, yeah, man. I just figured it out. Bro, it took a long ass time to figure it out. For me. Yeah, man. That shit took a minute, But like I said, I got a fight coming up. I got two fights actually. I got a kickboxing bout that's coming up, and then I got an MMA fight coming up. It's gonna be one in Virginia. Uh, the other one's gonna be in Ohio, and then I got um, doing some hiking with the dog uh, in December, and then next year planning to go to do a hike in Colorado. So I got a lot coming up on my schedule. And I'm gonna be filming all of that, bro. Like we're gonna be going to some real remote places. Like if you're into hiking and shit like that, like I've been doing like camping and shit since I was like 15. So, but I just this it's just something I want always to put it on my YouTube channel. So I got a lot of. I'm gonna be posting some fights on the channel. I'm gonna be posting like some Hey, fights are through Mighty Mouse. Nah, they ain't gonna be through Mighty Mouse. I wish I could go up there and you know, do some sparring with Mouse again, and get to work with him again. But he be bouncing all over. He be like, he up in Cali. I'm not driving that far. Just do some sparring with him. But if he's ever back up in the DMV area and I'm local and I'm around, I'll go over there and do some sparring with him. You know, uh, he's a cool guy. Uh, I know a lot of people say a lot of different things about him. It's a lot of different information. A lot of stuff bouncing around about him. You know, but you meet the guy, he's pretty cool. Um, yeah. So other than that, I mean, that's what I got coming up. These fights. I got the hiking video, and I'm also gonna be, this camera right here. I just got this new Galaxy phone, so I'll be shooting some footage with that. And I think this thing got like a 160 gigabytes on it or some shit like that. So I'll have a lot of space for like film. I'm trying making like hour-long documentaries. But most likely what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just buy a GoPro because I'm not gonna want to be holding this in my hand. I'm gonna probably buy a GoPro, one of those 360 cameras to go around. And I know that shit costs some money. I was looking at one of them. One of them were like, it's like $600. I'm like, damn, that's a lot of money to drop on. And I don't even got like the whole right setup for it and stuff. But I'm definitely looking to. I mean, I'll probably wait a little minute to buy that. I'll just do this, shoot videos with my phone, and then later on, I'll start, you know, uh, incorporating the new camera and stuff. But Yeah. The live chats. Yeah. So, um, shit. I'm trying to think. They had Baltimore slash DC. That's some of the best light skinned black women in the US. I don't know, man. I mean, they all around, you know, just some decent looking women that, from all different nationalities. But yeah, this area, it depends where you go. They got some trashy looking women over here, this ratchet and ghetto and you know, whatever the fuck, and then they got some decent women that actually, give a fuck about themselves. It matters on, the environment, where you go and, who you know, around. Yeah, flew there. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, but I'm over here in the Baltimore area, and let me tell you, I mean, the women over here are not all that great. You should come out here yourself. You know, maybe in DC. I like DC. DC is like a nice scene out there, man. Like, Baltimore, downtown Baltimore is just like that's the only good part of Baltimore. I mean, unless you're talking about the surrounding counties, you know. I mean, but I mean, what is their downtown Baltimore? It's not really shit. I mean, they got the harbor, uh, you know, the zoo, the aquarium, you know, some fucking buildings that I don't really know. It's not really much to see. And then if you go downtown, yeah, you get college, students. How is the entry level job market in Baltimore? It's uh it's not all that good. I mean, if you want my honest opinion, I mean, entry level, I mean, you're looking at jobs like fucking McDonald's, warehouse jobs, fucking jobs are gonna give like felons and shit, you know. And then, if you're talking about you're looking to get a job immediately, like some temp agency bullshit, then you know, yeah, you're gonna be making, I mean, shit money. And the sad part about it is like, I mean, but if you got a skill, like my thing is just like have a skill. Like, like me, I weld, other than just like, doing the martial arts. I don't earn shit off doing martial arts. I'm a fucking amateur. But like job wise, I have some skills. Like I got my certificate in MIG and TIG welding, and I do stick welding. So I do fabrication, I do construction work, here if I have to. Now, like me, I prefer to be like I like to work on my own. Like I'm getting into doing stocks and like doing like the jobs like Uber Eats and that Instacart stuff and like just I'm trying to do start my own business. I really don't like working for other people, but if I have to, I have those skills there. Like a lot of people want to do like these entry level jobs, and it's just like they're getting paid shit money because they don't have a skill. Like invest in a trade, like you know, get 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 a CDL. Drive trucks. That's easy. Pretty much anybody can learn how to drive trucks. As long as you're not a drunk. You know, um, fucking what is there? You got electrical, uh, you know, fucking plumbing. There's so much shit you can get your hands into that's easy with trades and trades come a dime a dozen. It's not that hard to or that expensive to get your certificate in your trade. You know, trust me, if you go that route, you won't regret it. It's a lot cheaper than going the college route. I can, you know, um, but that just be my. I ain't no fucking job guru either. I just know, yeah, skills pay the bills, and anything you do, and anything in life you do, skills pay the fucking bills, bro. I was just about to. say that shit, you know. Um, yeah, man. What y'all think about that fight that's coming up? What's this fight that's coming up? The Kobe Covington versus um Kamaru Usman too. That fight should be good, bro. That fight should be good. But I think Usman takes it again. And there's nothing against Covington. I know, a lot of people don't like him. You know what I mean? He's a boy, but here's the problem with Covington, bro. And I was just watching the fight on the UFC YouTube channel this morning. It's like 60 to 40, bro. I got Usman winning that fight all day, bro. But here's the problem with this, right? I think Kobe Covington has the skills to beat Kamaru Usman. I think he could knock Kamaru Usman out. He just doesn't sit down on his shots enough. He has no power, but like he's good. Like he's got great wrestling pressure. He's got great, uh good cardio, you know. He's relentless. He comes forward, you know. But the thing is, bro, and he's got good combination punches and kicks, but there's no pop on him. Like his kicks are like slap. That shit should sound like a baseball bat. You know what I mean? He's game, yeah, but he's like he doesn't bring no attributes. You know what I mean? He doesn't bring no attribute. He don't got no power. His submission. It's not like he's got the best submission game. Yes, he can take people down. He's an NCAA wrestler, but he just don't got enough power to like Kobe. When's the last time Kobe Covington has TKO'd somebody? Like I don't think he's ever TKO'd someone in the UFC. If I can remember, he may have TKO'd somebody. You have to go way back, and it's probably someone that I don't even know. But he could do it so much easy if he learned how to sit down on his shots. He has power. Naturally, he's a wrestler. His power comes from the ground, his legs. He's been wrestling his whole life. You're not going to sit up there and tell me that man doesn't have punching power. He doesn't know how to punch. You know, he doesn't know how to punch. He doesn't know how to kick. You know, he doesn't know how to put power into any of these shots. Like he was tagging Kamaru Usman up. He was tagging him up, and he should have been able to put him down with some of those shots. But he just when he punches, they're arm punches. They're not. He doesn't twist. They're not coming. They're not coming from, the shoulder muscles. They're not coming from the back muscles. They're not coming from that. When you punch, you put your ass into it. He doesn't put his ass into it at all, bro. He doesn't put his lower body into his punches. Everything he throws is all upper body, you know. And even with his kicks, he doesn't sit down on it. He doesn't turn his hip over. If you hear his kick is like like a 7-year-old in a taekwondo class. Just a little slap. That shit should sound like a baseball bat. And when you kick someone, like the way he was landing those kicks on Kamaru, bro, it should feel like Kamaru was blocking him with one arm. Like he should not be able to take kicks like that. Like if you kick somebody in the rib like that, or the arm or the rib cage like that, bro, it should feel like you're about to break their bones. Like there's no reason why his kick shouldn't be like a fucking baseball bat, But he doesn't have anybody, no good Muay Thai instructor to show him how to sit down on his kicks, how to really turn that hip over. Or unless he's just arrogant and not listening to him. I mean, that wouldn't be surprising either. But because a lot of guys are like that, they just don't want to listen to their coaches, and they don't want to take advice from anyone. They already think they're the best in the world, and they think they can't learn anything new. But I don't think Covington is like that, because he's been working on his judo and stuff like that. He's been incorporating that into his game. Even he's already a beast wrestler. So, I mean, for him, so that just shows me that, going into that, he's open-minded. So, like, all what he needs to do now is just, work on that power, work on sitting down on those shots, turning the hip over, and, his timing is good with the punches, surprisingly, I wouldn't. I mean, he's not the most fluid guy, obviously, but he's good. He's relentless with the pressure, and I feel like he could knock a couple people out if he learns how to sit down on his shots, turn his ass into it, and he could put some of these people away. And then those people, then you really can't write off his trash talk now. Like the reason why Conor McGregor, so many people love him is because he backs up all of his trash talk. But even though Colby Covington backs up his trash talk too, it's just like, let's be honest, with grapplers and wrestlers, people think that shit is boring. Like you you know sniffing someone's nuts for fucking 25 minutes, and not being dry humping their legs, and it's a part of it's part of the sport, but like people want to see you standing and banging, and like for me, like if you're gonna get a takedown on somebody, bro, you gotta like it's not really a real win if you're not really working to advance for position, like or look to you know, look to choke the guy out, look to submit the guy, look to pound him, look to really punish him. Like if you're just holding position there and just trying to win the round and just for the ref, you're looking up at the ref and you're just landing these small rabbit punches, then it's just like, what the fuck, man? Let me see these comments. Next. Are you really going to release your fight tapes? Good content. Yeah, bro. I'm gonna release those fight tapes, dude. I got a couple fights that I haven't even put on YouTube yet. I just don't want to show everybody, every single fight. And if you want to see some full fights of me fighting, you go to Mighty Mouse's channel and just look up Wolfpack UFL. Can't teach a old dog new tricks. Yeah. But dude, a few months ago, I don't know if you came in there. I was supposed to fight this one guy named Viking, who was a quote unquote self-proclaimed white supremacist, but he wasn't. I don't know how to even say it. Like he was trying to use the whole racism thing to sell a fight with this other guy who's not even a fighter. He's like 50 years old. I forget what the guy's name was, but so he was just calling out a lot of people on the internet, and since then Viking Fitness, Aryan Nation, like right, he was in that Aryan Brotherhood, whatever prison gang. I know a couple dudes. I've been all over Maryland, so I know a couple dudes that are actually quote unquote affiliated with a couple prison gangs, street gangs. So. But of course, Aryan Brotherhood being like racist, but because like they were in a gang in prison doesn't mean they get out and they're racist. Now, of course, in prison it's a totally different story because prison is racist as hell. But he was trying to rock with that, like just to sell the fight. So, and I don't really mind it much. You can say what you want. If somebody wants to live like that, that's their choice. I'm not gonna knock him for it. But I know he didn't really, he really wasn't on that type of shit. Just by the way he talks, like he doesn't even he says he's from a white guy from the South. He doesn't even talk like a white guy from the South. I know white people from the South, like, and they don't talk the way he talks. He talks like a suburban white. He talks like almost like a white kid that grew up in the city. As you saw, easy opportunity to level him flat. Nah, man. So I thought, because he had fought a couple IKF tournaments, which is like kickboxing. So, like, I didn't know his skill level, but this is a guy just saying he's a fighter. Okay, he's got a couple amateur fights. He's calling people out. He's got a platform. You know, and his opponent pulled out on him supposedly, and then he said he pulled out a video saying he was going to give $3,000, to Dom, whoever fighter, and I was like, hey, I'll fight you for $3,000. I'm, you know, um, and whatever they were talking about, some superior race bullshit. I wasn't going to be a part of that. You know what I mean? I don't. But like, hey, I'm like, if you wanna say, hey, you know, black guy versus white guy, in order for me to get $3,000, I'm not gonna stop you if that's how you want to promote the fight. You know, like, you know. But do I think I would have whooped them? Yeah, yeah, I definitely would have flatlined him. Cause I mean, and he knew that too. That's why he fucking. It was so weird. I uploaded a video a few months ago. Like he he messaged me from like this weird. He kept on changing his phone numbers too. Like he would have like 20 different fucking phone numbers. He would text me from like this from the like I don't know what he like. I don't know. I don't even know what he's 40 years old. Yeah, I mean that's not surprising. I mean I thought he would be like either mid 30s or 40s. But the guy was weird talking to him on the phone, man. He was like, yeah, I was in this gang, but at first I was in this black gang, and then I went to this prison and then they just, they would mock me for my race, and I just had to stand up for my race, or some shit like that. And it was just like, I don't know. But I mean, I get it. You got to do what you got to do to protect your ass in prison, dude. Like, you don't be the one that's dropping the bar of soap. But yeah, ever since then, bro, like I text Viking. I text Viking like I think the last time I texted him was like 2 months ago, and dude, I just never heard from him again after I made that video on because he said, yeah, 100% we were going to fight, we were going to fight, and then boom, he was just gone out of it. He just vanished out of the air. I guess he maybe he thought uh I was gonna ask for money for like the $3,000, but I was like, bro, listen, you're in Florida. A plane ticket to Florida doesn't cost that much. I was like, fuck it, I'll drive. I'll drive anyway. Florida's right here on the East Coast. A fucking take 91 all the way down, or whatever the fuck highway it is, interstate all the way down to Florida. It's about like I think it's like a uh from Maryland like a 16-hour drive or something like that. But I've done longer, on the road. But I was definitely willing to. I was like, you don't even have to pay me. I was like, this is just gut content to put on the YouTube channel. I'm like, if you're a real fighter, let's just do it, And we were not gonna do MMA. We were gonna do like Vale Tudo, which is like, bare knuckle. It was just basically bare knuckle MMA without time limit. So we were gonna go to literally either one of us got submitted, knocked the fuck out, or one of us just collapsed from exhaustion. And that would have been a great fight because I was in shape, and I was gonna try to put it on him. I was gonna try to hurt him. I was gonna really try to, take his soul. Just for the sake of having a good video, because I know, if he would have brought it and he would have actually came in shape, you know what I mean? If he would have actually brought it, like it would have been a great fight. Like, I think it would have been a great fight. But some dudes in the video said like he sucked, but like I would ask him, okay, send me videos of like your IKF fights, and like he would only send like 10-second clips of him doing like a sweep or catching a kick or him throwing like one punch, and then like or he'll upload like a 10-second clip of him hitting the heavy bag. I'm like, what the fuck, man? Like that's not able to show your that's not really showing your skills. But you know that just really led me to believe like his skill sets like was not all there, because before he was telling people that he was a pro fighter, you know. So um yeah, it completely beat him across the board. I would have liked it to be an interesting fight though, bro. Like I don't like, I don't want to fight somebody that I can just crush in 2 seconds. You know, I hate doing that bullshit. Like this one time, I don't know if you don't know, if you know who Nighttime Guru is. I was supposed to fight Nighttime Guru one time at a Mighty Mouse event. He was talking shit on Facebook. Nighttime Guru is just the poster boy of people getting knocked out on fucking Street Beats. I think he's got like 1 million views of him getting knocked out on Street Beats and over and over and over and over again. I even made a little video clip of it on Facebook. That shit was funny, and I shared it. And you know, Scarface laughed at it and all that shit. He even fucking came to a close match fighting Scarface in a boxing match, and that was just like pathetic, you know. But anyways, I was supposed to fight him. He didn't show up, or he made some, because my manager Joan Montalvo, who's he's the manager of Capital Fight Management. He's helping me out with my management, like with my amateur fights, even though I don't really fucking need him because he hasn't really, been helping me out. But because I've been, setting up my own fights, but that's besides the point. Um, he was, he gave me a ride up to Virginia. Next time Gru lived in like Alexandria somewhere, and I think the fight was in Virginia Beach. Is at the guy named Vanilla Gorilla's house, which is dude named William Dunn or whatever the fuck his name is. So they were running the fights over there. Nighttime Guru said he was gonna catch the train. Juan paid for the ticket. He paid for the ticket. Nighttime Guru never showed up. I was pissed because I went all the way down. I went all the way down from fucking Maryland to freaking Virginia Beach, and I just came there for nothing. But we stayed there for like 2 days, and so at the end of it, they made me fight this guy named Josh. All right, so listen, if you guys watch UFL channel Mighty Mouse, you guys know who the fuck Josh is. Like I don't know. Like if you guys ever watch Mighty Mouse channel, and if you're subscribed to Mighty Mouse, you're cool with Mighty Mouse, you know who the fuck Josh is. Yeah, he's a nigga who looks at the camera and looks this way, and he's like, we're ready to go. Like he legitly has like some type of, I don't know, I don't want to talk bad about him on this, but he's like, okay, he's retarded. Okay, like he's got some type of mental problem or sort of. But dude, you know what? The guy, he shows up and fights. He's got like 3 amateur fights. He just fought. Yeah, he actually fights like amateur MMA. You know, you know, uh, he's got a bunch of backyard fights and all that shit. But I was just pissed. I'm like, bro, I don't want to fight. Why do I have to fight someone like this, bro? I don't want to fight someone with like fucking mental disabilities. Like, and I get it. I don't want to deny nobody the chance, opportunity, but I'm just like, I don't like, I'm like, bro, I looked at Mouse like, bro, this is a mismatch, so we fought, and, I think I choked him out in like under a minute. The fight's on YouTube, and I'm not bragging about this shit or nothing. I feel bad for even fucks. I don't want to fight someone like that, like with mental issues, you know. But another, and it's just like, bro, and just some people just like beating on people for fun. Like people like they use Josh pretty much as like they use Josh like a fucking punching bag, like over in Mighty Mouse's yard. Like this is pro fighter now named Zach Kraft, who was an amateur like last year. It was a pro MMA. You can look up that fight. That fight is called Crazy J versus Good MMA Fighter. That's what I think. That's what the title of the thing. And Zach beat the absolute shit out of Josh, and he could have finished him at any moment. He just flat out beat his ass for no reason. Like I'm like, bro, just choke him or finish him, bro. And Mouse like is just sitting there letting him beat on his ass, like beat his ass, like getting. He's sitting up there just watching him pound his ass into the dirt. I'm like, bro, are you gonna stop this? You know, he's Zach is like kneeing him in the ribs and shit, like on the ground, like you know, like full on uncorking, uppercuts like in the clinch, like he had like a half plumb like tie clinch, and it was just like jacking those shots, like just fucking him up, like. And this went on for like I think 6 minutes. A part of the video wasn't even on the camera, bro. And then another fight. I don't even know if I should be talking about. He made Josh fight a freaking heavyweight that was like outweighed Josh by probably I want to say 50 to 60 pounds. Yeah. Josh is like a solid 170. Okay. This guy was a full on fucking linebacker he was fighting. Okay. And I'm like, bro, Mouse, come on, dog. Don't do this. And he was like, yeah, but Josh got more experience. I'm like, bro, not that. Like, bro, yeah, he's got more experience, but that doesn't mean he's good. He's good enough to fight somebody that outweighs him by 60 pounds. So anyway, the kid goes in there, they touch gloves, the fight starts, boom, cracks Josh one time. His nose fucking bleeds. He doesn't know where the fuck he is. I mean, literally just ends him with one shot. And they had to hold Josh up, and like Josh didn't know where the fuck he's at. Their Mouse was like, Josh, we ain't gonna let you go down like that. And they didn't even upload that fight to YouTube. They didn't. But I saw it because I was there to fight. That was the day I fought the guy, Orphan Prince. But this is just fucked up, bro. Like the shit people do for views. Yeah. But other on that note, bro, I'm starting up my. I've been talking about it with my dog breeding and stuff. We're looking at about she's falling into heat. I think probably next month. So we're gonna be heading up to Florida. I got one of my guys down there from Chris from Super Pack. I don't know what he calls his kennel name. He doesn't have a really kennel name, but we'll be breeding his to his Malinois X. He's got a Malinois named Rex. Big, athletic, strong fucking dog, And I know they're gonna be, good. Kindle in land in your future. Yes, sir. Yes. 100%. I'm looking at a couple areas. I like Virginia. I don't like this shithole where I'm at. I fucking hate Maryland, bro. I hate Maryland with a freaking passion. I want to get out of here so bad, but I'm stick it out for a while, at least to the end of the year. I want to get I want to set up my kennel like a little bit different from other people. Like it's some kiddos I've seen that there's been total shit. People making that shit out of plywood. Uh, people not even like this. That guy named, I don't want to talk about other people on here, but that guy, I got to talk about this guy. Fucking master of all bullshit. Master of all bulldogs. This guy isn't a master of shit. Dude, all he sits up there and does and talk is talk about people, other people's dogs, other people's kennels, and he's sitting up there and he's talking about other people don't have real pit bulls, or this dog doesn't have Turtle Buster or Red Boy Jocko or what and be sitting up there and he breeding mutts. Like anytime you see like I've never seen him with like an actual pit bull. Like I've only seen him with his mixed breed freaking American bull. You can't even call those things American bulldogs. What are those things? And if they're American bulldogs, they're the most obese, sloppiest American bulldogs I've seen. He does not condition those dogs at all. There's not an ounce of muscle on those dogs. You know? And then he says other people don't feed their dogs on a daily or something like that. But I guarantee you, his fat ass, the only time he takes those dogs out for a walk is when he gets on live stream to make himself look good. Those dogs stay in the cage 24/7. Dude, you look at the videos, dude, and he doesn't even try to hide it. Like, he puts them in small, tiny cages in his fucking shed that he lives in. Yeah, he's extremely lazy. He is fucking extremely lazy. Dude, he puts them in a small, them like, he's got like 12 dogs that he jams in a fucking cage. And it's just a mountain of piss and shit. And the dogs are just living in fucking pee. And like you see it, like their skin is irritated. It's all pink. Like, why is a white dog skin pink? Like that's how bad it is. Like the dogs are like, you know. But he has the audacity to sit there and talk about dogs like the Hulk, the quote unquote world's biggest pit bull. Even though we all know that Hulk is not a pit bull. Okay, everybody that's a dog man or knows anything about dogs knows that Hulk is a bad dog, okay? But they're marketing him as a pit bull. Yeah, it's been working good for him, They sell $50,000 litters, so I mean you can't really be mad at the man. I mean, he's obviously doing something right, you know. Uh would I buy one of those fucking oversized obese mutts? Hell no. But it's just like anything else, bro. Like people sell false products. Like another example, I'm gonna move on to another dog man, Canine Shields, another false dog person, bro. Me and Chris were talking about this the other day. This guy buys dogs from Europe. He gets them imported, right? These are dogs that already about from the ages of from a year and 5 months to 2 years old. This guy gets dogs, right? Uh, that are already trained, and then he trains them some more, and then he goes off and sells them for 15, 20 grand. He sells them to rich idiots for 15, 20 grand. Even though he bought the dog from like some kennel in Europe for $5,000. He just made, he just invested that and $5,000, and then he just made 10 or 15,000, and he didn't even do anything. He just bought the dog, pulled out a camera, uh, made a video, and then like, how can you call credit? How can you get credit for that shit though, bro? Like, it's not even your stuff you're selling. You're buying someone else's shit, and then you're quote unquote training it, and then you're selling it off as your shit. That'd be like me buying my dog, training it, and saying, okay, well, I bought my dog for $700. Now I'm gonna just sell her for fucking 7 grand now because I trained her a little bit. And the dogs that he buying, they're already genetically hardwired. He's a middleman. Cut him off. Yeah, he is. He is a fucking middleman. But like, this guy just gets dogs, and like the dogs he buys, they're already genetically hardwired to do that. Any one of his dogs he's got, bro. Listen, he's talking about, oh, I trained this dog to do that. I trained this dog. I can take that dog, tie it to a tree, put on the sleeve, the little protection sleeve, slap the stick down, and it's gonna bite 100, 10 times out of 10. But that's his protection training. And his protection training is not really realistic. This guy gets bite on the arm and he screams, like, dude, you gotta actually get him, you gotta actually make the dog work. You know, you gotta actually test the dog's pain tolerance. You know, which means you're gonna have to hurt the dog a little bit. And I know people go in here and say, "Oh well, oh no, that's abuse." Well, the fucking dog is a protection dog. Okay, these dogs are used in the military, the fucking police force. You think the bad guy or the terrorist is gonna care what the dog thinks when it's stabbing it, or it's about to crack a bottle, or is it or when it's punching the dog in the side of the head? Like no, these dogs have have to have high tolerance of pain to 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 be able to handle that pressure. And dogs that come from shitty genetics can't handle that type of pressure. You know, they're gonna cur out. They're gonna cur up. They're gonna cur in terms of they're gonna cower. You know, they're not gonna be they're not gonna stick in the fight. But some people, they get dogs and they just, make a video. I can make the dog look good. Like, even with her, I've been training her in protection work for the past couple months. You can check out any one of her videos of her hitting the bike sleeve, you know, and doing that. And it looks good. But what I would 100% trust her with my life, fucking hell no. Hell no. Because I know if it comes down to it in the heat of a moment, bro, you gotta have a dog that you trust with your life. And that's why I'm taking another dog with real genetics and I'm breeding it to her, you know. And she's got working line dog. She's got working line dogs in her. Her her dad is AKC Husky, you know, named Moose, and then her mom was a Czech dog, a Czech German Shepherd, and I got lineage and paperwork on the mom side, but the breeders that took her to put the two dogs together, and she's a good dog, man. Like if I would have started doing protection work with her when she was a puppy, she would have turned out way better. But I know her puppies, that I'm gonna have a Rex is gonna turn out really good. And then, I'm also buying a couple other dogs that I'm bringing in, throwing in there. I might be throwing some ADBA and that, uh, it depends. I'm with this line of this breed I'm making. I'm taking a couple different dog breeds and throwing in there, but I just got to keep doing my research. I'm thinking about doing something with the Pattern Air Terriers too, man. Those things are like little fucking monsters. Like I've seen Patterdales like take on freaking coyotes that are like 60 pounds. And these are like 15, 20-pound dogs. And they're just that tenacious. But well, that's a different story, bro. I know we can't really talk about, you know, like pit fighting and dog fighting on here. What makes me mad is this, right? Right. Like there were certain dogs that were bred for some certain things, right? Like pit bulls were bred to fight in the pits. This is what they were bred to do, you know. Uh yeah, they were a lot of dogs back. If you go even back go way back to the Molosal dogs, they fought lions in ancient Rome. They would put them against people that were like gladiators and shit too. And then eventually, they put dog against dog, and they would just do it. They would several breeds, not just the Molosal type dogs and pit bulls, but other Akitas, um, Tosas, Cordoba dogs. That was another dog that started the Dogos. It was a bunch of dogs they used back in the day, you know, in pit fighting. And what gets me mad is like people get all mad, like, oh, that's animal abuse. That's animal abuse. But they'll sit up there and they won't bat an eye when someone shoots a fucking elephant or kills a fucking kills a fucking lion or tiger or some shit in the wild and call it a trophy, you know, or where people go out and do dumb shit and like just shoot alligators and shit for fun. You know what I mean? Like they'll go out that and they'll consider that shit fun, you know, kill an animal, but they'll sit up there and say fighting a having two dogs that were game bred to fight each other. They've been doing their 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 mother their parents were in the pit. Their grandparents were in the pit. Their great grandparents were in the pit. You know, and the lineage goes on and on and on. These dogs were bred to do this. But then you got people getting mad about it. I just don't understand it. It doesn't make any sense. You know, they call that quote unquote animal abuse. You know, but they'll sit up there and go kill animals for fucking fun. And like with pit fighting for me, like I'm not for fighting animals to the death. I'm for just as if I'm not for going in there and fighting to the death. Even though if I mean it's a possibility, in the sports I do, it's a possibility. Yeah, anything can happen. But no, that's not the objective of it. Like I think if you watch a couple different fights of dogs on like these websites, like they have like over in China, they don't fight dogs to the death, but in certain areas in like Mexico, the States, yeah, they let dogs fight to the death. You know, and sometimes it depends on the breeds too. Like if you take really if you take two really top line game dogs, like okay, look, well, here's a better example. Like if I take two Akitas, if I take two, if I take two Akitas, like Vic approves. Oh my god, yeah, bro. Hey, but like you see, bro, I'm not for fighting animals to the death though. So I'm not with my Vic. But just for example, right? If I take two like Akita fighting dogs or Tosas, like those two dogs, they'll fight each other, but they'll only go for so long. They'll only go for so long because they're big. They're gonna tire out, But like if I take two game bred pit bulls, those fuckers will fight for hours. They can fight for like up to 2, 3, 4 hours sometimes. They're gonna kill each other. And once they're on each other, and once they lock on each other, it's almost impossible to break those two. You can hit them with a break stick. You can try to tase them because they are like I said, they are bred. They have been inbred, you know, through years and years and years of selective breeding. You know, take you know taking dogs, breeding it to breeding the dog to back to its mother, breeding it to the father to daughter. This is how they do these dogs to get them just genetically crazy to where that's all they want to do. And their pain tolerance is, I don't even think they have pain receptors for real. Like it's crazy, you know. And with some of these dogs, like I really don't like some of the fights I've seen is like wow, how is that dog even still up? You know, yeah, it is fascinating, but that's just like through years of just selective breeding, man. Like it's crazy, but some people have a lot of problem with it. I mean, but I don't know. There's a lot of things that I think people do. Like I said, like I don't big game hunting. Like going to go shoot lions and tigers and wolves, animals that are already on the brink of extinction. Like these are people. These are the people. Like they'll go out and do that. They'll go out and kill an animal that's almost extinct, but then they'll sit up there and ridicule us for talking about a sport that's been going on for centuries. And when dog fighting first happened, it was the foot. It was the foot. Food on the table because men would bet their dog against the next dog, and it was a sport. There used to be like a time limit with it. They used to have a whole like point system. Some in some areas it was different. Some areas they let the dogs go to the death. Some areas it was like on some like sports. It was like almost like boxing, and MMA. But like, you know, like it was a betting match, and then people took care of the dogs. They took it to the vet. They fed the dogs well. They treat the dogs right. But when it was time to go into that pit, you know, it was time to put food on the table, and that's what the dogs did back then. But and then if you look it up, the history of it, a lot of those dogs, those fighting dogs, they lived out their entire life after they, they won a few fights in the pits. They took some losses, and after they retired, they had good lives afterwards. And they went on to produce some of the best dogs today. A lot of those dogs that are in the shelter come like a lot of these. You got to think about it. Pit bulls are the number one dog. They're the most overly bred dogs, and there's so many pit bulls in shelters. If I go down to the shelter right here, the SPCA over in Baltimore, you'll see that there's so many shelters. It's crazy. So many pit bulls in these like dog rescue shelters, you know, and they come from those bloodlines of fighting dogs. You know, it's fascinating. So if you find a diamond in the rough. Yeah, exactly, bro. You can find some of the best dogs come from the shelters, man. And I don't care what anyone says. Like some of the best dogs, like I've had shelter dogs in the past. Now I'm more on to breed my own line and breeding my own things. But you can find really good dogs in the shelter. But let me tell you something about buying dogs from the shelter. You want to make sure if you get a dog from the shelter that you don't just go in there and say, hey, I want a dog. What do you got? And then they give you a dog that you don't know no information about, like they don't know how old the dog is. They don't know who raised it. You know, at least know the damn dog's age and how is his temperament. Because those be the dogs that'll rip your fucking daughter's face off. But like that's why I promote too. Like I think if you want a dog and people try to go the cheap route and don't if I say if you want to get a dog from the shelter, like don't just get the dog because you want a pet. Get the dog because you can actually take care of the dog and you can make that dog's life better. You know, like. But if you're looking for a pet and you just spend the extra money and go out and get it from an actual breeder, because then the parents, the grandparents, family tree, the dog, the parents' temperament, they health line, they've been health tested, you know, they still have all their genitals intact in case you want to breed the dog, you know, because buying dogs ain't cheap. You may get a male dog and you might want to start them out, you know. So, yeah. Well, it's been damn near an hour. I've been on the damn phone. So great talk tonight. Thank you, Nick, for tuning in. I appreciate it. It was a great chat with you tonight. But I'm gonna have some more content coming out later this week. Like, comment, subscribe. Check out my upcoming videos. Check out the other videos I got on the channel. Like I said, we got these fights coming up. I'm doing hiking soon. So, thank you.